multicolored commons this time. We do have 10 multicolored commons in this set. And the first one is Conduit Goblin. For a red and a white mana, you get a 2/2 that gives you 2 energy when it enters the battlefield. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay energy. If you do, another target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Oh, this is not legendary as well. Man, this is a crazy good aggressive card. I mean, and it's also... Okay, hello, Scotty. What's happening there?
Oh, I just showered, so my hair's wet, so I'm putting it back with a hairband.
Oh my! Wait, that's normal thing.
Yeah.
That's not here for the stream. That's your normal thing.
I mean, it's a functional headband, so why shouldn't I use it?
You're way too cute.
It spins.
Oh, you're way too cute. You're way too cute, man. Oh.
What happened to focusing? Focus.
Focus. We are doing the set review, everybody. So shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and let me do the set review. Good aggressive card. It's great in multiples. Like this one is actually great in multiples. So for multicolor cards, we give them a grade when you're not sure that you're gonna be in these colors. So splashable cards get a better grade, and we give them a ceiling grade when you know that you're here. I mean, this one looks really good. I'm just gonna give it a C+, and in color like a B- at least, even a B.
That's exactly the grades I wanted to give it.
Like, is this better than the Battlecry, dude?
The Battlecry Landfall one?
Yeah, that one is a 2/2 haste, right? And it gives and it gets Battlecry.
On Landfall, yeah. I think this card is better.
This card is better, right?
Yes.
But didn't you give that one a B grade?
I feel like I gave it a B-.
This card is just better.
What was it called?
Yeah, Landfall dude is hasty, but that doesn't give anything else haste.
Sorry, what was that card called?
That card, I don't know. I have no idea.
Was it Reckless Pyro Surfer? B-, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is like, so ceiling is B- on this one?
Yep.
I can see this.
In my opinion, it's a better B-.
Yeah. I can see this being like just a B in color. It's like...
It's very strong.
This is crazy good. You have multiples, you give... This is crazy. It's just a 2/2 as well. I love this card. Okay, next.
Cranial Ram, black-red. 2 mana for an artifact equipment with living weapon. Equip creature gets +X/+1, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Equip 2. It's a relatively cheap equip cost for something that can beat in really hard. This itself, without an entire deck around it in support, is like...
Super shit.
Like, if obviously you're not playing this if you don't have the support for it. But
Yeah.
this can make a whole deck pop off to the point I think it's a payoff enough to take it quite highly. I think this one's wildly enough more important than the last card for the deck that it wants to be in. I think I take them about the same as like a C+, but I think in color this one's like a B.
Yeah, I can see that. We have a couple of these common multicolored cards that really work well in multiples, and I mean, this is incredible, right? You just need one more artifact, and then you go to 2/1, and then everywhere you put this is going to be +2/+1. Is with one more artifact, right?
If one more artifact, and this thing is already like a really strong equipment that came with a 2/1.
I mean, this is really good. Yeah, I'm taking it as a B-, I think. I think this is gonna put me in these colors, and in color B, for sure, easy.
Yeah.
Even B+ in color. I mean B. Let's go B. I think this is really good. So good in multiples. So good. Like all of your Eldrazi's. Nah, you're not gonna have that many Eldrazi's, but everything is now a threat. If you just have one more artifact on the battlefield is great. You have a couple more, well, that's where the things get crazy. And there's lifelink as well.
Cyclops Superconductor.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's your turn. Sorry, go for it.
Whatever. Cyclops Superconductor. So for 1 and a blue and a red, it's a 2/2 with prowess. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy. And when it dies, you may pay 3 energy. When you do, this thing deals damage equal to its power to any target. So, without anything happen, 3 mana, 2 to make 3 energy, okay. And then when it dies, you pay that and it deals 2 damage. Cool thing is prowess, right? So you can like play any spell, instant sorcery, whatever artifact, and it's gonna be a 3/3, maybe even a 4/4 on some turns. A lot of instant speed spells in blue and red. A lot of really fine, really nice cheap spells. So then it would be like they block it, it's a 3/3. And it deals 3 damage to something else. This is a little bit awkward, I think. Like the death effects. You can't really control when the death effects are gonna happen. I kind of feel like it's any target, that's cool. Pretty good with fling, double fling. But I don't know, I'm not big on this one. Almost 3/1, I don't think this is even close to being a 3/1. I mean, it's a 2/1, hopefully. You're hoping that this is gonna be a 2/1. I don't see how it can ever be a 3/1. So, I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know, just like the 2/2, it's gonna be a little bit irritating to block. But the problem is like this really attacks kind of badly, right? So that's a bit of an issue. It does give you that
Pretty big
energy
difference
for
between-
maybe especially the uncommons or something else as well. I don't know. I think we're taking this as like a C-, and in color, I mean, it probably is a C+.
Yeah, I'll take it as a C. Not having a 3rd point of toughness matters a lot for prowess, right? In terms of how reasonably it can attack on the turns you expect it to, which is turn 4. So you're right. Expanding Ooze, 1 black, green, 3 mana for an Ooze 3/3 as a black, green for adapt 1. Whenever Expanding Ooze attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target modified creature you control, which includes itself. So for a cheap cost on turn 4 of 2 mana, right? So you hit your 4th land drop, you can adapt this, you can attack with it. It's already attacking as a 5/5
It's taking 5/5.
for common. What the heck?
That's
What in the world is this? This is messed up.
It's a little messed up, yeah.
Like it's not even, you're not even taking your whole turn, right? You can pretty reasonably still cast a spell on that turn 4. Like 2 mana is cheap for adapt, which is kind of wild. Sure, if you adapt before, like this does want you to adapt before combat, so you can actually get the additional +1/+1 counter. And like part of the really strong, at least in my experience, part of the strength of adaptation is to do it instant speed. But who cares? You have a 5/5.
I mean, you can put this somewhere else as well. Like you don't even have to put it somewhere else.
You can just put it on your mandible kite that you're splashing for.
Wait, what's mandible kite? That's a germ?
Sorry. The 1/1 living weapon.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a germ, right? Yeah. I mean, you can put it also on the witness that gets you any permanent back from the graveyard.
Yeah, you can also just get additional +1/+1 counters with the Basking Brood Scale that gets tokens.
That makes what does it make? It makes
Eldrazi spawn.
Makes a lot of spawns.
Yeah, this card's pretty wild. I'm also gonna take this as a C+, and in color I think it's a B-.
Yeah, this card is pretty wild. I think this is such a good enabler for all of those things, and it's really good on curve, and it lets you attack. Man, I'm fucking loving that 2/1 that that gets things back from the graveyard, man. Green has great late game. I hope that these like small, fast flying decks are not gonna be too overwhelming. I mean, I can see this being a being color. I mean, it just works with everything, and even if you don't have anything, it attacks next turn as a 5/5, then it stays a 5/5, and it's then 6/6 and so on.
Yeah, I can go for B.
I think I take it as a B- even, like not the best splash. Nah, C+, okay, C+, I take it as a C+. Fateful Watchdog. For a green and a white, it's a 0/0 Vigilance Dog. 0/0 creature? That is the worst creature I have ever seen. But it also Gets 3 +1/+1 counters. Oh, what a twist. This is the card that I was talking about when we had that green uncommon that Scotty didn't really like and I loved it. Where you put a +1/+1 counter on something and then for 2 mana and double the number of counters.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, this is the turn 3 8/8 that you can do with that. This is a common, that card is uncommon. Adapt is black-green. No, you got it wrong. White, green, and black are the colors that care about modified creatures. Those 3 care about modified creatures. And +1/+1 counters, so yeah. Yeah, this is not splashable. It wouldn't be if it was any color, if they didn't have white or green, but... I mean, you get a 2 mana 3/3 that has vigilance. That's great. That's great. If you have anything else that works with caring about modified creatures, giving modified creatures superpowers and stuff, that's again great. If you can make it into an 8/8 on turn 3 and one that doesn't have a removal spell, that's great as well. So this one is good. I don't think I take it that highly. I don't think it's as important. But vigilance 3/3 as a 2-drop is so good. Like, it is really good. Is there any downside to this, Scotty?
Is there any downside besides the casting cost?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so as well. There's modified team and stuff, so I'm okay with giving this like a C. How highly I pick it? Great. And in color, B- easy, B-.
You said C?
Mm-hmm. But in
Okay,
color,
me too. And B- I'll agree with.
Yeah.
Obstinate Gargoyle. 1 white, black, 3 mana for an artifact creature gargoyle. It's a 2/2. Obstinate Gargoyle has flying as long as it's modified. Has persist. And persist means that if it dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a -1/-1 counter on it. Honestly, this one's a little underwhelming. This is a Windrake that then comes back as a 1/1. And it only flies. It only flies.
This is not Windrake.
Well, there's two. Sorry, you're right. It only flies when it's either died and come back, or if you suit it up with +1/+1 counters. Which is, I guess that's the dream, right? You want to suit this up and then have it fly before it dies, and then when it dies, you can suit it up again. Oh, do you know what we should talk about? We should talk about Lola blowing his nose. But after that, we should talk about.
I'm muting for the stream, but not for you.
Oh, sorry.
You talk about the card. I'm gonna be back in a second.
We should explain that -1/-1 counters and +1/+1 counters cancel each other out, quote unquote, cancel each other out. So if Obstinate Gargoyle has died and persisted and now has a -1/-1 counter on it, and you add a +1/+1 counter onto Obstinate Gargoyle, it will no longer be modified. It will just be a 2/2 again, which means that Obstinate Gargoyle dies in that spot, it'll come back again as a 1/1. I'm still like not super hot on this. I think it's okay. You know, like you're gonna run it, it's gonna be fine in certain spots. Like a 2/2 that dies into a 1/1 that flies is okay. It's okay. So I think like I take this at like a D+, and in color I think it's like a C. There's some upsides here. It could be pretty annoying.
Yeah, I don't see it for this card. Like multicolored and a 2/2, and then you said that like you can always put a +1/+1 counter on it to remove the -1/-1. I just don't see it. Like, you're working so much for what? And there is no crazy things to do with sacrificing creature that this is worth it. What do you give it?
There's a lot of like sacrifice fodder, but like not a whole lot of sacrifice payoffs.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't like this fodder. It's a 3-drop. Right? It's a 3 mana 2/2 with no text for now. Kinda no text. And then no keywords, I guess. And then it dies and becomes a 1/1 flyer. I don't know, man. 10 mana, 2 cards, draw 4. Yeah. I'm gonna picking it as a D, and in color, I mean, I don't think it's good in color. D+.
think it's a little better than that, but I can put D+.
Why is it better than that? Like, what is a 3-drop that's worse than this?
What's a 3-drop that's worse than this?
What is a 3-mana creature in these colors that is worse than this one?
That's a great question. Let's take a look.
Well, I guess
certain decks are not going to want Solstice Zealot over Obstinate Gargoyle for sure. Does Black even have a 3-drop? Black doesn't even have a 3-drop in common. It's like Scurrilous Sentry. That's what it is. Black doesn't have a 3-drop.
Sorry, what?
That's why this exists.
What is it?
That's why this exists, because Black has no 3-drop in common. Wait, never mind. It's Kami of Jealous Thirst.
Yeah, there's 1/3 that touch.
Right, Kami of Jealous Thirst. I could see you wanting this over Kami of Jealous Thirst.
Really?
You have modified synergies. Slap it on this to make it like a 3/3 flyer instead of like a... Well, a 2/4 Death Toucher is pretty good too.
What is this dude? Like, what is this dude? It's like you have a 2/2 that can go and fly. I mean, what? I think it should fly.
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't fly.
They should just be flying.
It should just fly. Like, doesn't that alarm you? Doesn't it alarm you that it seems nerfed?
Yeah, it does seem nerfed, man. To the ground, though.
Yeah. Maybe it was like a last-minute design file change, and then it's bad now.
Yeah,
maybe it's like too good, and then now it's bad.
Maybe. Like, but then again, was it nerfed? Because like, what, you gave it flying, and then the wording is, I don't even know if it was nerfed. I think it's just like they wanted to do this, but then you can't give it flying if it has this first line of text. Like, as long as it's modified, it gets flying. You can't give it just flying. Then that's I don't understand. Like, if this had flying, would it really? I don't think it would be great. Persist is too powerful with +1/+1 counters. Red discard with 3/3 stat line? Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty... Wait. When a 3-drop gets +1/+1, if it's really bad, if it is a really bad card, the answer is always, what if it gets +1/+1? Oh, it's the best 3-drop in the game. That's the answer to, like, really bad 3-drop. When it gets +1/+1, it's the best 3-drop in the game. Is this best 3-drop in the game if you give it +1/+1, or is it just like, nice, this card is nice?
It's just quite good. I think it would just be quite... It wouldn't be the best.
Yeah, I'm on a D- on this one. Yeah, that's...
Okay.
When you give a D- 3-drop, +1/+1 in stats, it becomes a B+. B+. That's... Look at any D- 3-drop in any of our tier lists, or other people tier lists, give it a +1/+1 in stats, it becomes the best 3-drop for its... in its color, in all the colors, or whatever. This one...
Oh, it persists. Oh, it persists as a 2/2. Oh, that's really, really strong.
Yeah, that is good. But it's a dead effect.
That might be the best 3-drop.
But it's a dead effect. Yeah, I'm on D-, and in color I'm gonna say D. I think it's shit. I hope I'm wrong. It's a pretty cool card. There's maybe something hidden that we are not seeing here, but I don't feel like it is. So yeah, I don't think we play that. Can we give it a ceiling of a D?
If you want to give it a ceiling of a D, I'll raise my grade to a D+.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm keeping it a D+ then.
Okay. Riddle, you can go.
Riddlegate Gargoyle, white, blue, 2 mana for artifact creature Gargoyle. It's a 2/2 with flying. When Riddlegate Gargoyle enters the battlefield, get 3 energy. Whenever you attack, you may pay 2 energy. When you do, target creature you control gains lifelink until end of turn. 2 energy for lifelink is an ability I don't expect to use that often until it's like a pretty good life swing, right? Because 2 energy for lifelink for, like, for example, 2 life, not worth it. That seems pretty bad. But this is 2 energy for an evasive 2/2 that then gets you energy that you can then probably dump into other valuable things. That's value. That's pretty strong. And then once you have, for example, like a 4 or 5 power creature, or like the extra points of life matter in that particular race, you get to decide. You just get to dump a little bit of energy in this, and that's a really nice effect. I think this card is actually really, really good for its archetype. I'm a big fan. I'll probably take this one at a C+, and I think in color it's a B-.
Yeah, big fan as well. Just like 2 mana, 2 flyer gets you 3 energy for other cards, that's great. Sure, it doesn't have the best mana sink here, the best energy sink here. But just like, sometimes you need that little bit of a tick to win the race. Yeah, I like this card a lot. I'm gonna be taking this as C because it's super not splashable and I don't think it's important to have in these colors. C, yeah, but in color, B- as well. Man, these multicolor cards rock, except the last one, I don't know what's up with that. Snapping
yeah,
Void.
you also can just play this on turn 7 and attack and still get the lifelink. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, you can. Snapping Void Crow. For 1 and a green and a blue, it's a 1/3 devoid creature. You can tap it for double colorless. You can also tap it and pay 3 plus colorless, that's 4 in total, to draw a card. Huh. Another one that I'm not sure about. Another one that I'm really not sure about. Green has a 2 mana 1/2 2-drop. 1/2 with detach. So 1/2 detach is better stat line than this one. And it's a green common for 2 mana. And it adds 1 mana of any color, so it fixes. And it also adds 1 mana, 1 colorless mana. This on the other hand can draw you a card, right? So it can do that for a pretty steep mana cost. Man, what is... I'm not sure. Doesn't green have enough effects for this?
2 mana is a lot of mana. 2 mana is a lot of mana. It's like a lot. It's like somehow more than double of 1.
It is pretty close to double of 1.
No, I meant like in terms of its impact on the game. It feels like it's more than double of 1.
Yeah. It does feel like it's double of 1. But I don't know, man. I mean,
It also might be half of 4.
Sorry, what?
It also might be half of 4.
Something like that. Yeah. It's also 3 mana 1/3 in 2 colors. And it's also multicolored 3 mana 1/3. Didn't we already have this one? Something like this, which was 3 mana 1/3 that gave you like 2 in some set. I don't know, maybe Baldur's Gate or something. I can't remember. Yeah, you can play double colorless for some of those Eldrazi spells with this one. I mean, green also does really care about extra mana because it has infinite combos. I cannot wait to play that. I'm gonna be playing so much green at the beginning because I want to see if infinite combos are really that good. And I don't even know, man. Is this good? It's like I see all of these cards that are super good tempo, that are really good at attacking, that help your other creatures attack. Then I see green already having ramp, having Delirium and stuff. And then I see this like, how does this work in a world where attacking seems pretty good? But slow strategies also seem pretty good, I think. But you're not gonna get there with this shit. I don't know, man. I think I'm taking this as C minus and in color a C? Maybe D plus. I'm taking this as a D plus, I think.
Okay, I'm like a lot higher. I'll take this as a C. In color, I think it's a B minus.
Yeah?
I actually think this is really powerful. Yeah.
Why?
I just think adding 2 mana is really, really strong.
Why?
Like, how do you survive? You take like 5 to the face maybe when you play this, and then you just drop a large thing, and you stabilize the board. And then you drop another large thing, because this isn't a spawn. You get to consistently cast stuff.
What large thing?
You're Eldrazi. You're larger Eldrazi.
Yeah,
I think the aberrations are better than you think they are. The ones we reviewed very first.
Oh, you mean the uncommons? No,
The commons.
The Lurker and Tusker. Those are better?
Yeah, I think so. I'm starting to think.
Maybe, hopefully. 8/4 hexproof, that's pretty cool. That gains you a ton of life. Like that's really cool with this one.
That's a lot of life.
Man,
just be able to
I'm the biggest.
double spell.
Not there is a rare, yeah. I'm like the biggest fan of the mana dorks that can trade. I gave out a B grading for the 1/2 detacher, I think. Or a B minus. I mean, I don't know. This one we're gonna have to average out, like, obviously. So I'm taking it as a D+.
You can just leave the ceiling blank.
Huh?
You can leave the ceiling blank.
You know what's the problem, Scotty? The problem is like when you're skipping a turn 3 with this one. Not skipping it, okay, but you're kind of not doing that great. And with the Adept, I think like these creatures with high toughness are gonna be a little bit problematic. Because an opponent can just attack and you can't block because they can adapt, but they actually don't have to adapt, so that's really nice. There is also a problem of when you get 2 mana on turn 3, I think there is a good chance. It's a little bit awkward that you have that 2 mana ramper, and then it's hard to play this on turn. It doesn't feel good to play this on turn 3. But then, how many big cards do you have in your deck is the question. And a lot of times I think you cannot use this 2 mana. Like 1 mana on turn 2 that you get for ramp, you can use that most of the time. But 2 mana on turn 3, there's just so many times where you can't really use it well. You can maybe ramp for 1, and that kind of defies the purpose of playing a 3 mana 1/3. I mean, the body is horrendous.
That it can't sink into itself.
Like, this body is horrible, right, Scotty?
It's very bad.
You think the ramp on 3 is so good that it's okay to play the really, really, really bad body?
I mean, Palladium Mirror is a really strong Magic card.
It was good in that set, that's true.
But this isn't a core set. This is Modern Horizons 3.
This is not a core set, that's true as well. This is not a fucking core set, yeah. This is the opposite of the core set. Okay, I'm taking it still as a D+. I hope this is great. I hope this is really good. But D+ and in color, I mean, you're still on a B- in color for the 1/3 body?
Yeah, but I think it's worse than the Dryad. So I could go down to C+.
Okay, I can do that. I mean, I wanted to give what I want to give it in color, like a D+.
You wanted to give it a I don't know what you wanted to give it in color.
I think I wanted to give it a D+, but okay, C.
Okay, what'd you give it normally?
I'm gonna give it a D+, I guess. Then I hope.
Okay.
Fuck me. Just give it a D. You give it a D from me.
Okay. We should have a sign for when it's.
I'm gonna try that card out a good amount of times.
You want to do a slash?
Hmm?
Is that bad?
Sorry, what?
Do you want to have like a sign for when we can't agree? On ceiling? What about a slash?
No. We just average
Like
the
one of
ceiling.
these. Okay.
I mean, average the ceiling is a C ceiling then, but that doesn't make sense because you.
Okay.
Okay, C+. Where's my lighters, Scotty?
Read the next one. The next one is Sneaky Snacker. Blue, black, 2 mana for a 2/1 with flying. When you draw your 3rd card in a turn, return Sneaky Snacker from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. No mana. That's kind of hot. What did Voidwing do? Y'all remember that card from like the Toxic set? Did you have to pay mana for that? Voidwing Hybrid. Oh, it's your hand? This one's into the battlefield? This card's hot.
This card's cool.
How do you discard it? You block. I don't care. You just block it. Block things. Chump. This thing blocks.
Block.
Yeah, I'm into it. I don't think that drawing your 3rd card... I mean, okay. Drawing your 3rd card's not going to happen that often in a game. Like, if your deck is built around it, I don't know, like twice. But, like, that's twice. That's really good. And this also just pressures your opponent. Just attack.
Scotty.
Just attack. And then when you can't attack anymore, just block. It's pretty good. I like it.
Scotty.
I think this is a C+, C, B-.
There is the black card that says you sacrifice a creature and draw 2 cards.
Yeah, you can also just do that. And then it comes back immediately.
You can sacrifice this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it has flashback?
Yeah. Do it again.
Do it again. This is a pretty good thing to sacrifice. What do you give it?
C+ and color B-.
I can see us being too excited for this one. But these are really good in multiples as well.
I mean, when is this bad?
Yeah, because just people are playing bigger creatures, adapting, and putting +1/+1 counters with white, and they're just still killing you. And then you really don't want to be
Pretty
doing
happy
cards.
jumping with this.
Huh?
I'm pretty happy chumping with this. This is my 2-drop.
Chomping I hate in the early game, right? It's like too much of a Tempelos even when you get it back later.
Gosh, you're 8/8 on turn 3 pilled. You just think everyone's gonna have an 8/8 on turn 3. Well, you are, because you're gonna take that card.
No,
first.
you said that you were gonna chump.
Yeah, a chump later when I reasonably think I have to chump.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like those early plays. I think it's really good in the right deck. I don't think it's gonna be. I'm gonna be taking it as a C. Really good in multiples as well. Good to loot. Oh, there's a looter in blue.
There's an energy looter.
My neighbors are having a party. Okay, so in color, what do you give it?
B-.
I'm okay, B-, but I can see this going down to a C+ in color. This is the one that I can see that it's gonna be worse than how good it looks.
It does look very good.
Yeah, but I can see it being much worse. It really depends how many of those like sacrifice, draw 2 and some of those things that you want to play in the deck. Writing. What is writing? Writing.
Writhing.
What is writing?
Writhing. Well, I'm just gonna do writhing. Define. Writhing means a twisting struggle.
How do you
Twisting and struggling.
You Americanos always like Magic just uses these words where you Americanos all need to check what they mean to be sure. Oh,
Yeah,
it's because like we have billion cards and then they gotta use new card names.
Writhing's a good word.
Yeah. So what is it exactly? Can you repeat?
Oh, it means to like struggle and like be worm-like. Struggle in a worm-like
and be
way.
worm-like.
Yeah. Worms writhe.
Oh, okay. Like when they're digging in the ground.
Or when you dig up an earthworm and you throw it on the sidewalk like a cruel, senseless person, the worm would writhe in front of you.
Okay. Chrysalis. For 2 and a red-green, it's a 2/3 devoid creature. When you cast these spells, create 2 Eldrazi spawns. It has reach, and whenever you sacrifice another Eldrazi, put a +1/+1 counter on this guy. Okay, this is amazing. This is incredible. You just gotta, like, so it's a 4/5 reach, but it's much better than that. It can grow from other Eldrazi's. It's gonna ramp you up, right? It's gonna like make your next turn amazing, and it's still gonna be a 4/5. This is very good. Sometimes you're just gonna have to like sack these things to block. That's kind of fine as well, right? Because you are playing a 4-mana 2/3, so you're maybe gonna just have to sack to block on this turn to not fall too far behind. With white having really good flyers that we saw, and some really good uncommon cheap flyers as well everywhere. Reach, I think, is gonna be pretty important, especially for green that doesn't have flyers. So I'm on a C+ for this one. In color, probably like a B or a B+.
I like B ceiling, but I'm taking this as a B-.
I'm taking this as a B- as well. Okay, B-, sure.
This card is disgusting. You're just gonna have other spawns lying around too.
Yeah.
This thing's huge. Reach is really, really good.
It's modified as well. The one thing that I'm not sure about, like how good is green-red gonna be, and then that's gonna be the big selling point of this card as well. I just kind of feel like other colors are gonna be a little bit better with green, so, but we're gonna see. Amazing card, incredible card.
What's next? Cursed Wombat?
Cursed Wombat.
Oh, it's uncommon, that's fine.
Oh, we're on the uncommons already. Oh my god. Okay, Scotty.
Okay, Cursed Wombat is 2 mana, black-green, for a 2/3 with 4 mana to adapt to. Permanents you control have whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on this permanent, put an additional +1/+1 counter on it. This ability triggers only once each turn. That includes itself. So when you adapt it, it's actually adapt 3. This is a 2/2 that when you pay 4 mana, it becomes a 5/6. A 5/6. And this will also double all the other counter adding synergies that you have with your other adapt creatures, combat tricks, cards, etc., etc. And it's a well-statted 2-drop. This doesn't have the upside of being able to be played on turn 2 and be able to attack into basically anything because you can't adapt until a turn later. And you know what? I don't really care because this card is actually phenomenal. Huge amounts of stats, must answer for a 2-drop, and already just really good on its own. I think this is also a B minus B.
Yeah, B minus B seems good. It works so well. It's not gonna double the counters, but it's gonna give one more, which is huge in these colors. And now the green trick with this one is incredible, right? It just gives you +2/+2. I can see green black splashing a good amount of white, right? If you have these as well, you can just support is double the counters. It's 4 counters from the 3/3 flyer as well. Yeah, this one is really good. On its own, like for the late game, you're getting a huge creature that's gonna work with other creatures. Works with the green black common, which now adds 2. It's a 5/5 when you adapt it. And then it adds 2 +1/+1 counters to things. This is really good. I can see green red. I was talking a little bit about green red. I can see it being like sometimes it's gonna be good early game and so on, but I think red has such good early game removals, so you could just play for the late game. With green red, I think it's gonna have a really good late game. Like you control the game. I don't think people are gonna play it like that a lot, but I think I will. Like you have really good control of the early game with early game removal spells and really efficient green creatures, and then you just go for the late game from that, right? Your early game is kind of covered in terms of opponent is not gonna kill you. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Emissary of Soulfire for 1 and a white and a blue. It's a 1/4, no flying. I always think that these genes have flying, I don't know why, but this one doesn't.
Oh my gosh, I thought this card had flying the whole time.
Yeah. I have made this mistake so many times in the past with the tier list. Like I'm talking about a card, it's a gene, and it's flying. And then somebody says, this thing doesn't fly. And it's, completely different card all of a sudden. So 1/4, you get 3 energy when you play it. You can pay 2 energy to put an Exalted counter on target creature you control, only as a sorcery. Exalted means that whenever a creature you control, obviously, attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each instance of Exalted among permanents you control. That's pretty good.
Exalted is really, really powerful.
Exalted is really powerful, yeah. You put it on something that's not gonna be attacking, and then every time you attack alone with something, it's gonna be great. Really good energy sink as well. You can just put Exalted everywhere on bigger chunkers, so I think this is great. I'm a C+ and in color, like this is a really good energy sink. Like it's blue, you can play, you can get a lot of energy in blue. You do gotta attack. Sometimes you're gonna like put 2 Exalted counters on like your Eldrazi spawn, but I don't think you get Eldrazi spawn skill or something really bad. Put 2 Exalted counters there, so if they kill it, okay, sure. Yeah, I lost 4 energy, but you just killed nothing.
Gosh, that's really good.
Yeah,
This is really good.
That's pretty cool.
You want to go give it a ceiling B?
Ceiling B seems good.
I'll also take this as a C+. I could see it being a B-.
I don't think so.
Golden Tail Trainer, 1 green white for Fox Samurai 1/3. Auras and equipment spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is Golden Tail Trainer's power. Whenever Golden Tail Trainer attacks other modified creatures you control, get +X until end of turn, where X is Golden Tail Trainer's power. This one is interesting. You have to pump, or you want to pump this. So first of all, it can survive a combat, or it's reasonable to attack with it. You need to have other modified creatures to get the buff. And then at that point, it's quite good. But that's kind of a reasonably big hill to climb.
And it's a 1/3.
For a card that doesn't inherently add counters onto itself.
Yeah.
So you have to find another way to add counters on it, or equip it. Which is, first of all, this is a 3-mana 1/3.
Yeah.
And then you have to invest so much more into it to make it a real magic card.
Yeah.
And then you have to invest even more into it to make it a good magic card.
Yeah.
So I'm off this. I personally think this is worse than the Gargoyle.
Yeah.
And I think this one's like a D, but honestly speaking, the ceiling's not just for in color, like there's a real ceiling here. So I think the ceiling is like a C.
I think I will still give it like a. I think it's like often it's just gonna. Most often it's gonna be I think a D plus. I think like it's not just the ceiling is almost never happening. That's the problem. Like so the ceiling like. I think the ceiling is I think it's just a D plus because it's just like we're playing a 3-mana 1/3 and it requires so much work and when it attacks. I mean other modified creatures get +X+X, so I mean that's pretty huge. I guess we can give it a C- ceiling, meet in the middle.
Okay.
Because if you are playing a 3-mana 1/3 in a very efficient set like this one, I think that's a problem. Oh, I need to run to the bathroom. Is that okay? You want to talk about the next one while I go?
Sure. What are you giving this one? A D or what?
A D, just a D. It's pretty bad. Pretty cool card, but
Okay.
very, very low floor and hard to make it work.
Anyway, this is 3-mana 2/3. Since Lola's actually doing the review from the toilet, has lifelink. Whenever Horde Shadow Spinner attacks, you may discard cards equal to its. Oh, sorry. You may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard that many cards. Ho! Wow, Lola's on some heavy delay. It draws 3 on its own, and it's a lifelinker. This card's kind of hot. I like this. I think this one's a B- in color. Probably taking it as a C. This one's good. What is this, Horde Shadow Spinner? I like spinning shadows. I mean, it's not super difficult to find something to help it survive combat. I'm into it. I could see this being a C in color. Specifically because the stats are nothing special. Can you make this fly? With white, you can make it fly. There's a couple cards in white that can make this fly. Yeah, you know, maybe I'm a little too hot on this. It's not like you're getting like actual, like so you actually need the draw 3 payoff. In order to like get a more tangible advantage than just card selection. So I think I'll probably go down to a C- in color. I'm kind of hoping, I think it's like more like a C+. It doesn't need the payoff, but like the payoff in itself is card selection, right? Hopefully you can find something, for example, like Wither and Bloom. Oh, it puts the 2/1s into the graveyard. Yeah, that's pretty good. Needing a common's not bad, and you can even dig for it. Oh, then you draw 3 cards, then you deck yourself out? Oh yeah. Let's go.
And I don't like this. 2/3 lifelink creature that needs to attack for it to do things. Sure, there's this architect, but maybe when you get some uncommons. But before that, it's just too hard to attack in this set, I think, with a 2/3 for 3 mana. So I'm gonna give it a D. Like a D, and in color like a C-.
Okay, this card's way better than that.
Yeah?
It's pretty easy to find selection for. You can even find removal for those blocks.
It's pretty good. It's really good selection, yeah.
A really strong selection.
Maybe D plus then. I mean, the selection is really good. Especially the selection is really is like a skill check. It's like when you know what you need for your game plan and for the temporary game plan that you have in this game, in this actual game, like card selection can vary from, oh, it's nice to maybe get better cards, from like I know exactly what I'm discarding and there is no chance that anything else is. I know exactly what's the correct thing to do when you give it enough thought, when you think a bit more. This will straight up unplayable against other
playable? You
decks?
just don't draw.
Yeah, you don't have to draw. What do you want to give it as a ceiling?
I wanted to give it a C+, but we can go to C.
Yeah, let's go to C then. Is it Generatorium? Generatorium. For a blue and a red, it's an artifact that says if you would get 1 or more energy, you get that many plus 1 more. You can tap it to draw a card, activate only if you've paid or lost 4 or more energy this turn? That's a lot of energy. So if this replaces itself easily, then, I mean, this is actually not that bad, I think. There is that uncommon in red, right? That can give you a lot of energy. Like, whenever you attack, you get energy, right?
Yeah, now you get 2 energy.
Now you get 2 energy. And with that one, you're just getting 3/3 artifact golems. So that's a really good combo. Okay, this is interesting. Like you really need this. You really need to have enough energy, because if this replaces itself, then you're pretty happy. But you did pay 2 mana, so you kind of want to do it multiple times, and you want to kind of set up these turns where you're using more. But you're using 4. 4 is a lot. So it's the. I think this is like a C minus, a C minus. Ceiling of. I think it's gonna be like a B minus in color. What do you think, Scotty?
Yeah, B minus in color. I'll pick it as a C.
It's super.
I wonder how
interesting
much of that
card.
grade though is that it looks really cool.
Well, super interesting. But some decks, I think it's not gonna be that great. In others, it's gonna be amazing. So like some decks, it's gonna feel like a better card than a B minus, but in a lot of them, I think it's gonna be lower. And I don't think you take that and then go into use it. All right, next up.
Undo Not Master. 2 white, black. I don't know why I can't read that. It's a core rogue that's a 2/2 and has lifelink. Whenever another modified creature you control dies, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Undo Not Master. But it also has adventure. The adventure side is throw a line for white, black. Sorcery, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures. So you don't need 2 targets for this. You can just stack up 2 +1/+1 counters on a single creature. Adventure is really strong. So when you cast this on 4, it's underwhelming stats-wise. If a single modified creature dies, it becomes pretty good stats-wise. Like a 4/4 lifelinker is solid, and it just kind of grows from there. I think this is pretty solid. I like it. I think adventures are always like better than they look. Like just having access to both ability modes. Pretty strong. Obviously, the joke here is you can add 2 +1/+1 counters onto things, and then once you play this, then those things become much harder to trade with, and if they do, this thing gets really big and chunky. So I think I'm taking this one at a C, and in color, I think it's like a C+.
I mean, this it's pretty good in. This can get pretty big. It is a 2/2
really
lifelink when it enters the battlefield, which kind of sucks. I think that these Golgari decks, yeah, that's my thought as well. That these Golgari decks are gonna be very happy splashing white again. For the uncommons, I think they're gonna be super duper happy, extremely happy. And yeah, you can put these 2/1 counters on the modified synergies in those green and black decks. I think I'm picking this higher. I think it's like. And you have the modified creatures, you have them probably right away because you use throw a line. Like you can just pay these 2, use that, and then whenever, you don't have to play this on turn 4 or something. You play it like when maybe as a last card or whatever. Because there is also the. Oh, you can also like sacrifice your modified creatures for this to be bigger, so opponent doesn't in black, right? With instant speed sack a creature. In white, there's a 1 mana 1/1 germ that you can sack. That's kind of fine. That you can block with. I'm on a C plus B minus for. Yeah, I'm on a C plus B minus because I think this is also splashable. Maybe not a powerhouse like some of the other cards where you just pick a ton of them. Need to work a little bit with this, but I think it's also splashable in Golgari deck. So that's why it's maybe a little bit higher pick because it gives you a wider selection of colors you can be into. You don't have to be Orzhov. B minus in color?
Yep. Sounds
Planar
good.
Genesis for green and a blue. It's an instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't, put a card among them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. 2 mana, helps you ramp if you need that. On turn 2. Later turns, you probably get a selection, you get any card from those 2. So it's kind of like an impulse, but a bit better if you need a land. I don't think I care too much about this in limited. Yeah, like Road Spiral. I think it's okay. I'm worried about the multicolors in Simic, but I think Simic is going to be able to splash, so it's fine. I think it's still like a C minus C. But I don't think you want to use mana on this most of the time. What do you think, Scotty? Maybe on lower.
I'm lower than that.
Yeah.
I'm on like a D plus.
Yeah. It's like you don't need this. Like just you can play other things. It's never too bad, but you don't care about instants in your graveyard. You don't care in these colors. You don't care about. The card selection is always nice, but you don't care about ramping with this. It's kind of cool that you can ramp for 2. But you have the 1/2 Death Toucher. I think that's a way better ramp. Way better ramp.
I could see it being a C minus.
We can. I'm okay with like a D and a D plus. I'm okay with a D and D plus. I'm okay with with what you're saying.
Pyretic Rebirth, 2 black red, 4 mana for an instant. Return target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Pyretic Rebirth deals damage equal to that card's mana value, to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. It's a nice bit of value. The hoop that you have to jump through is the conditionalness of having something in your graveyard of mana value of what you want to kill. But when that happens, the effect is going to feel quite strong. 4 mana for this, and you have to jump through a hoop. I think this reads really well. I think it's going to play out a little bit worse than that. Red black is like artifact aggro too, right? So like a lot of the decks are going to be like kind of low to the ground.
Yeah.
It's like kind of awkward. I kind of want to splash this more, in like blue or green. Especially if you can like cycle away those like Eldrazi or blah blah blah. I'm gonna be kind of lower on this. I'm probably gonna take this one in like a C minus, and in color I think it's like a C plus.
I think it's okay. I'm gonna be on a C. Is how I like take it. I think in color it is a B minus. Like I think both red black. I don't think it has to be aggressive at all. And I think that artifact doesn't make it aggressive. I don't think you have to be aggressive at all. That's how I would like.
Wait. What does the red black deck look like to you? That's not aggressive.
That's not aggressive. I mean, You have that 5 mana card that you like that draws cards. You have the lifelinker to stall out a little bit. Black really doesn't have great aggressive things to do. And at one point, like if you have those cranial common artifact things, it's gonna make everything a threat, right? So even if you're not aggressive, like all of a sudden they gotta block everything every small thing you attack with.
Yeah, I'm not sold, because then now you have like tons of slots that are just like you're gonna wheel the archetype cards for you, and it's gonna be like a 2/3 for 3 mana that pings your opponent's face, and you're not gonna be happy with that in your slow deck.
That is true.
Even though your archetype is your deck is open, you're gonna get so many duds.
But are you not gonna be happy with that? Like maybe you can have a good amount of life gain. And this is also splashable, right? This is also splashable.
I'm more excited about splashing it. So I can see a B minus ceiling if it's because you want to splash it more.
Because it's easier to splash her. I mean, we can give it a C plus if you want. But I think it's pretty good. So we can give it a C plus, and I take it as a C. That's fine.
Okay.
Even though I kind of think it's a B minus. Skada?
Scurry of Gremlins, 2 red, white for an enchantment. When Scurry of Gremlins enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red gremlin creature tokens. Then you get an amount of energy equal to the number of creatures you control. Pay 4 energy. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. This is actually really, really powerful. So if you have 2 additional creatures, you get to give your gremlins haste immediately if you want to. You can also just not pay the energy immediately. I understand that 4 mana for 2 1/1s is pretty weak, right? But if you have a constantly energy producing deck, you can use the energy obviously for something else if you need it, for removal spell, etc., etc. And then this will sit on the battlefield for when you need it, because this is an enchantment. It's not a sorcery. You just play it and it sits there. So like, let's say let's say you're actually on the back foot, right? And you play this card and you're like, okay, well this stinks, right? This is not the greatest. You can technically use this defensively if you need to trade up for things. But if you don't, you play this out, then you play some other stuff. Maybe you stabilize by using the energy on removal spells, etc. And then later on, you generate some more energy, and then you can do the sweeping effect. It just stays there, which I think is really powerful. I think this is really, really good. I think this is a C+ and in color B- for me.
Huh. C+ B-. So 2 1/1s and hopefully get a lot of energy, like maybe 3-4 energy, maybe more. Why do you like it so much? Why is B- in color?
It's a pretty huge beating. It's a pretty huge beating for a deck that I think wants to be proactive anyway. And you also get to be flexible about when you get that overrun effect. A lot of the times when you're holding something like heroic reinforcements, right? It's like there's slight awkwardness about when you want to pull the trigger, but you can just cast this out on turn 4 always, and then pull the trigger later. And I think that's really powerful.
It wasn't heroic reinforcements +1/+1.
Yes, which is better, but I think the upsides of this card are even better than that.
The upsides being...
I do think this card is better than heroic reinforcements.
Really?
Yes.
Because you can use it multiple times and at any point.
Yes, and you can also just use the energy for galvanic, blasting, and other stuff.
Yeah, you can do that. But you did get play a 4 mana, make 2 1/1s.
Yep. Which heroic reinforcements you could also do, but it would be way worse.
Interesting. I'm not sure about this one. Like, you also have the common that the 2/2 gives to energy and gives haste to other things, so a little bit...
That actually does make this worse.
Yeah, it does make it worse.
Fights for space.
Because that one kind of feels like it's a 2-drop that you really want in your aggressive deck, and it does this thing at, I think, more efficient rate, like starting from turn 2. For 1 mana per creature. You can make +2 gremlins and more energy. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Like that's what I was thinking about as well. Like the white thing that returns this from your
It's called Essence of Antiquity, right? Or,
yeah.
No, Essence of...
So the 3 mana
I'm confusing it.
Who cares?
I'm confusing it with the 110.
Oh, okay. Yeah, who cares? It's just like you return the permanent and play it back again. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's fighting for the with a common. So I can see this being... I'm gonna C-, and I would say ceiling of a C. I mean, but we're gonna have to go to C+, I guess, which I'm not sure that you're taking this as a C+. And when you are in Boros. Like, I'm pretty sure you're taking every other C+ high, much higher than this one. But maybe I'm wrong.
Titan's Vanguard, 3 red, green, 5 mana for a creature Eldrazi. It's a 5/5 with Devoid. When you cast a spell and whenever a Titan's Vanguard attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each colorless creature you control. Trample. Rules. I forgot the word, but rules talk. This is not a 6/6 when it enters the battlefield. This is a 5/5 when it enters the battlefield. It triggers first, and then it enters the battlefield. So this doesn't add a counter onto itself. But however, it does add a counter on itself when it attacks. And it adds a counter onto all your spawns. I anticipate that this will be a pretty hefty amount of counters in your deck. Like, there's a decent amount of just actual cards, and then those actual cards make spawns that will then add counters onto it. We were talking before, if you can turn your spawn... We were talking about it with the one that gave them all Evolve. If you can turn your spawns into real threats, it's pretty stinking powerful. But unlike that card, this one has to attack multiple times, which is unlikely, like, because otherwise they're just gonna be dead already. I think this card is quite good. I think this is also a C+ and in color B-, and it does nothing with Witness.
This is kind of fucked. I think this is a splashable card as well.
Yes, this is splashable.
In green, you already have 2 really good colorless 2-drops and 3-drops, which means you can put a ton of them in your deck, as there are 2-drops and 3-drops. And both of them are making more... These are commons. Both of them are making more, like, colorless creatures, the Eldrazi spawns. Whew, this is really powerful, goddammit. And I'm talking about green, because, like, you don't have to be red-green. You can, but then you can just splash. And there's, red-green uncommon that is 3... Sorry, red-green common that is 3 colorless creatures all at once. Man, this is good. I think this is a B minus because it's super splashable. I think this is really good. You play this with the blue enchantment. Do the 0/1s get +1/+1? Yes. You order the triggers, yeah. I think B minus and a B in color.
I'll go B in color.
Great commons that work with this. What do you say?
Yeah, I'll go B in color.
No, this is good. It's just colorless
really
creatures. Good. Oh my god. Okay. We are done with multicolored cards, some of them extremely powerful. And now we are gonna go to hybrid lands. These are we are treating them as multicolored, but they're actually like uncommon. Remember, uncommon, you're not gonna get a ton of them. And there's a normal chance to get a DFC uncommon. Not every pack is gonna have a DFC uncommon like we've had in the past. So, in some sets in the past, I think. So these are just dual lands. We do get 10 of them for every single color pair. Gilda, thank you very much for the raid. And every time it's gonna be a dual land, but it's also gonna be a hybrid card, which means you can just play this in any red or black deck. Okay? Every single land is like this. 10 of them. 10 uncommon lands. First up, we have Blood-Soaked Insight, which is a black-red land, and also you can cast it for 7 mana. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Target opponent exiles the top 3 cards of their library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. If you cast a spell this way, mana of any type can be spent to cast it. So it's kind of like draw 3. With a pretty steep casting cost. That's 7 mana. Hopefully you're gonna deal like 3 damage to them or something, then it's 4 mana, I guess. So this is good, like it fixes for you, that's always good if you need that. And then it's gonna be a spell. I mean, it's not a great, it's a really bad spell. It is a pretty bad spell. But sometimes you are gonna have a good turn of dealing damage, so makes it better. Boulder Face for 5 energy easy. So I'm just gonna be on a C+ for this one. It's good. Just do a land, man. You can help you splash. Really good.
Okay, I'm a sucker. I'm the sucker who's.
You're gonna be a sucker
this
for this, like
B-minus.
super huge sucker for this.
Drowner of Truth 5.
What do you give it? What do you give it, man?
I give it a B-. I
Yeah.
said I'm a sucker because I'm giving it a B-.
I thought so.
Yep. Drowner of Truth 5. Green, blue. 7 mana total for a creature Eldrazi. It's a 7/6 with Devoid. When you cast a spell, if colorless was spent to cast it, create 2 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature tokens with sacrifice to add colorless, and it flips into the Simic land. Blue and green. Oh yeah, this one's pretty powerful. It also fits pretty well into what Simic already wants to be doing, but obviously you don't need to just play it in Simic. I would play this in a deck without green. You know, like I'd totally play it on either side, right? If you just want some large creature to drop on top of your tap land, that already seems totally fine to me.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, this also opens you up for fixing. So I actually take all of these pretty dang early. I'm also going to give this one a B-.
Yeah, it's also. It's funny how this is a land, but it's better creature than. I think it's a better creature. I mean, it doesn't have vigilance or reach, so I guess those keywords are pretty important. But it feels like a better creature than the colorless commons. Yeah, B-. You're not trying to play this creature that much, but 7 mana is a bit weird. But it's also green, can be green, so which means you're maybe gonna be ramping a good amount. I know that. So yeah, not bad. By the way, that white artifact that can bounce back your lands, right? So at one point you can start casting some of your lands.
Or can bounce back your lands? Really?
Right? Is it a non-land permanent or is it a permanent? I think it's a permanent.
Let me look it up. Yeah, permanent you control.
It's a permanent, yeah.
Woo!
That's pretty cool.
That's hot. That's good.
Like you can
like
cast
that.
your lands. That is really
I'm into
cool.
that.
Okay. What grade did we give that card?
We gave that one. It starts with an R, right?
Yeah, it's Essence Reliquary.
Oh no, it starts with an E. A D plus. I gave it a D minus. The ceiling is a B minus.
Okay, that's fine. Next up.
Glasswing
Glasswing Grace. For 3 and for 5 mana. Orzhov. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying lifelink, and it's on the other side, it's an Orzhov tap land. Pretty good. I think this one is gonna be great, amazing. I think in your green black, green white, and kind of those decks, you're gonna be wanting this land. So this is gonna be like a good splash land. It's also important, like what the spell is, but it's also kind of important. The added value is like, are you splashing with this land a lot of times? But you are, I think. This is a really good effect, man. You just get something. You make a creature a bomb, and it's on a land. Right? It is 5 mana. It is 5 mana, but you're making a creature into a bomb. You make it a +2/+2 flying lifelink. Whatever you play, basically whatever you play it on it's a bomb now. Me likey. So I'm gonna give it at least a B minus. Or you want a B? I'm okay with a B.
Yeah, I'll go B as well. This one is definitely the best of the ones that we've seen so far.
What would you give this card if it wasn't also a land?
If it wasn't also a land, like C.
Yeah.
Cost 5 mana.
Does cost 5 mana.
Legion Leadership. 1 Boros red-white hybrid. 2 mana total. For an instant, until end of turn, double target creature's power, and it gains first strike. And the flip side is the Boros land. This one seems more underwhelming than the ones previously. However, there are some sort of nice things, I guess, with it. That's pretty sick with the Exalted Angel, or the Exalted Djinn. Flyers, but then again, your flyers are going to have a little bit tough time getting huge. It's a situational combat trick, and usually these situational cards perform reasonably well as tap duels, but I think this is the worst one that we've seen.
It's pretty easy to use.
Yeah. I mean, you can just get value off of it. Like, doubling power and giving first strike will win basically every combat.
I mean, I think at least it's gonna be like +3/+0. Just a sure strike.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like sure strike, right?
Yeah. At least.
Yeah. I would give this one a C+.
I'm on a C+ as well. I think I'm on a C+. I mean, it's also a fucking land. It's so good, and it's both red and white. I'm still on a B-, man. I think these are just help you fix. Can be played in any red deck, in any white deck. It is a tap land though. Like if you're
I think I'm being ridiculous. This card I think is better than Blood-Soaked Insight. The Rakdos one.
Yeah.
So I should probably also give it a B-.
Yeah. It's easy to use as well. Like it's just a land. Okay, next up, Revitalizing Repast. Repast? What is that?
Repast.
Repast.
It's 1 letter away from being Repasta.
No, but what is it?
What do you mean? What is it?
What is Repast?
Well, you know the past. Have you ever traveled back into the past?
Yeah, I know what.
If you travel again, then it's the repast.
Really?
No, it's not. I don't think it's a word. Is it?
There's no. You liar! You liar on a poor creation guy. So it's only 1 mana. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Engage, indestructible until the end of turn. Oh, this one is real nice. And in the
it's a real word.
Huh?
Sorry, I'm interrupting your analysis to derail us. It's a real word. Repast is a noun that means a meal or the food eaten or provided at a meal. It's just food.
It's just food?
Yeah, it's just food.
He's eating. Today we feast, tomorrow we fight, then we feast again. So, I think it's good. This is good. This is nice. It's so easy to keep this one up. You can always find a use for it. That's really nice. This is really good. I want a B minus as well. This is an educational stream. Like, Scotty, you've been born in the US, right?
I've been born in the U.S. Yes.
And you've been living there until last year.
Yes.
Yeah, the magic using hard words if you don't know all of them as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of words. There's a lot of words there.
See, guys, it's not just a satanistic game. It also teaches you some things. So what do you think about this one? I love it.
B minus.
So easy to
Rush
keep
of
up.
Inspiration. Rush of Inspiration. 1. Is it hybrid? Is it hybrid? 3 mana total for an instant. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card at random unless you pay 2 energy. Flips into the Is It land. I mean, I'm annoyed with this card, but it's fine. It's fine. Like, for 3 mana's divination, you have to pay 2 energy for it, but frankly speaking, without the energy, it's kind of crap. It's like a 3 mana cantrip, right? A little bit better because you can hold lands, right? And hopefully discard one of those so you can make it a little bit better than a cantrip. But when you get to pay the energy for it, and I don't think you'll have that much of an issue getting energy, you just have to be careful with it, right? You can't just spend it willy-nilly. You have to know that this card is in your deck to draw. But it's pretty good. It's divination later in the game. Not bad. I think this is also B minus.
Also gives you the draw 3 triggers. I think this one is slightly worse. At least this one is. I don't think it's much better than the tap than just the tap land. So for this one, I'm actually gonna be on. Still C plus. I think. Man, all of these are so nice. Are we too big of suckers for them? Like, fear not. It's dual tap lands that have hybrid mana cost for actual spells. We're not too low. We're not too high on them. Maybe too low. Strength of the Harvest for 2 and hybrid Celestia mana. It's an enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each creature and enchantment or enchantment you control. Ooh! So it's gonna be at least a +2/+2. Like, you put it and it's at least a plus. That's like the minimum is +2/+2. What? Wait. I mean, that's on a land, guys. That's on a land. I wouldn't like this card if it was not on a land. I would not. But it's on a land, so you're not expending a full card on this. And it's also Celestia, which I think is gonna be important land to get for some of the decks. That I'll be trying out at first. That I think are gonna be very strong as well. So you have Eldrazi tokens as well. They're just gonna make anything huge. The biggest thing on the battlefield, probably. I'm gonna B for this one.
Me too. Really, really powerful.
Why do you like these like enchantments the most from these lands?
I mean, they're good enchantments.
Yeah, they're for also being the lands, they are pretty good enchantments.
Yeah, they're pretty stinking good enchantments. The thing is, okay, here's what I don't know whose argument this was, so I'm gonna paraphrase it. But I think it's true. Enchantments aren't bad inherently, right? Or rather, maybe it's the opposite. Enchantments, when you actually stick them, are usually extremely game warping. Like any enchantment. They're usually extremely good. The problem has always been landing it. And when you can subsidize the cost of having to risk landing it by something like it also having another function in your deck, that's just a really powerful card to have.
I don't think it's like landing it. I think it's more like seeing if the creature is going to survive the next turn, because you're getting 2 for 1.
Sure.
I think it's more like with enchantments, opponent has time. They don't have to respond to it anything. If you land it, you're still unsafe, because you could lose 2 cards for the price of 1, and you could also lose a lot more mana. Usually, a lot more mana than the opponent. So you're losing value and tempo. That's the problem of enchantments. If they have removal spell, you're losing tempo and value. And those are the 2 main ways to win limited games, and you're losing in both of those. Just because you're playing that 1 card if they have a removal spell. But this is a land, man, so Okay, Stump Stomp. For 1 and for 2 mana, it's a Gruul land. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Man, it's just a Rabbit Bite that's a hybrid mana, and it's also a land. This is a bite spell on a hybrid mana, and it's a land. I know I'm repeating myself, but that is fucking pushed. I'm on a B. This is great, amazing. This is the best one. I think this is the best one, maybe so far.
Yeah, this one's good. It's a hybrid spell, and on the backside it's land.
What happened
Really
to the Izzet spell here?
I think the Izzet spell is a little bit better than it looks.
I mean, what happened? Like, we have this, but we also have Izzet. That Izzet spell where that's...
I mean, yeah, the card. I told you the card makes me mad. Yeah. Rush of Inspiration specifically. Actually, Suppression Ray makes me mad too. But
I mean, the Izzet spell is really bad. It is a bad card, but it's also land. That's why it's fine. Yeah. But it's a really bad card.
Yep.
Okay,
and this card is like a reasonable card on a land.
What do you give this one? The B as well?
B. Suppression Ray. 3. White, blue. 5 mana total. Sorcery. Tap all creatures target player controls. You may pay X energy. Then choose up to X creatures tapped this way. Put a stun counter on each of them. And on the backside, it's Azorius Hybrid. This is expensive to keep things tapped down for multiple turns. Expensive. This does nothing if you have not enough energy and you're getting beaten down. You kind of just want to win with this. But like, it's funny because the energy clause, like you if you're winning with this, you don't care about the energy clause, but the energy clause is so expensive for you to do anything else with it.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of energy for something that doesn't produce energy itself. So I'm going to say most of the time you're just trying to win with this. And that's like okay, because like, you know, otherwise it's just a land, but there's still, when you're getting beaten down and you're drawing and you're trying to draw out of it, a land's not going to help you either. I think this one is a C+ for me.
Sure, C+, can't go lower than a C, I guess. I can see this one be a C. But yeah, C+, it's nice.
I think this one's the worst one.
A really bad spell. But it's on a dual land, so why not? Next up, Dimir. We have Waterlogged Teachings. On the one side, Dimir land. On the other side, for 3 and a Dimir mana, which is 4. Instant speed, search your library for an instant card with... Or a card with flash, reveal it, put it into your hand and shuffle. This one is similar. Way too expensive. Really bad card. This one I'm actually gonna grade as a... land that can be something else. This one is pretty bad. But it's a land, right? You're not expanding a slot, so I'm gonna be on a C for this one. This is the worst one so far.
I'm on a C. This is the worst one, period.
Yeah, true. Did you... what grade did I give the Izzet land? C?
The Izzet land you gave a C+.
No, give that a C as well. We are on to the mythics and rares in multicolored. Scotty, lead away.
Hey, can you get started with this one? I'm going to go bathroom real quick.
I can start. Abstruse, I don't know what that means. Chat is going to tell me. Appropriation.
It means food. It means food. Something that you eat.
Abstruse means food? No, it doesn't. For obscure or obscure? What is obscure? Right. For 2 and a white and a black, it's instant speed with devoid. Devoid in Orzhov, okay. Exile target non-permanent. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend colorless mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. Whoa! Wait! Whoa! Wait! So you're gonna kill something? And then you're gonna get it? Yeah, this is like super cheap mind control, but also super cheap mind control, but also super expensive mind control, right? It's kind of like when it becomes mind control, it's pretty costly. Fractured Identity is a bomb. I don't think this card is a bomb, but I do think it's a B+. Like, this is... I take it as highly as a B, and B+ in color. This is super splashable, that's why it gets a very good starting rate. Very good removal, but also gives you that card that you're removing, so that's pretty huge. You're not getting... It's much better than draw a card, because you're killing something that's a problem. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, Identity is just one of the best bombs ever, because it gives you tempo. This doesn't give you tempo, but it just kills the best thing they have, and then it gives it back to you, so it's like a 2-for-1 on the board once you get enough... not really on the board, it's kind of like a better card draw. So yeah, amazing card, but not Identity. Arna Kennerud, Sky Captain for 2 and a white and a blue and a black. It's a 4/4 flying lifelink with ward, discard a card. Whenever a modified creature you control attacks, double the number of each kind of counter on it. Okay. Why is this blue? Then for each non-token permanent attached to it, create a token that's a copy of that permanent attached to that creature. Oh, wait. Then for each non-token permanent attached to it, create a token that's a copy of that permanent attached to that creature. So all the... Wait a second! That makes more... equipment? Wait, guys, what if it's... What if you're making a living weapon equipment? Can you attach it to a 0/0? Can you do that? Can you attach it to another germ? Like, can you... Okay, Scotty, this card first. Okay, let's do this one first. So, Scotty.
Yep.
Do you know what? Read this card. I think just read it for yourself.
Okay. So 4 mana, exile.
So for yourself, man. That's not for yourself.
Oh, but for myself is different then. To yourself. You meant to yourself, but that's
okay. So can you like order the triggers like this? Like you create it, it gets attached to your creature, but then the 0/0 happens. The 0/0, like the card enters the battlefield, and you can attach it to the germ. Can you do that?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Okay, so equipment is attached to creatures, right? And it's a non-token permanent.
Yeah.
So this makes you copy equipment.
Yeah.
And but you attach it to the creature that it was attached already. So let's have you have a germ with that +1/+1 flying equipment. You attack with that.
Okay, sure.
You copy the...
You exile that one.
Sorry, what?
Then you exile that one, right?
Why would I? What would I exile? What do you mean? What? You're not exiling anything.
Oh. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm reading abstruse appropriation, and then you're on the next card. Oh. Wait, no. I don't know what's going on.
Go with the next card. Yeah, Arna Kennerud is the next card.
I have to read this card now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
The card that's on the screen. The card that's on the screen, man.
Okay.
What the hell? You know how it is, exactly. Just whip it out. Just whip it out, man. It's my stream. You're not gonna get punished.
What in the world? Wait, not to. Okay, so what's the question?
Can you? So you attack with the 6/6 trample germ.
Yeah.
And then you copy the +6/+6 trample. You attach it to the germ. It's stealth health. But can a trigger happen then that makes another germ, and you reattach that to the germ, other germ?
Create token.
Can you just make
a
ton of creatures with this, or does it have to go? Does it have to be equipped to the creature that's attacking?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's so weird that this is blue. It is so weird that this is blue.
I'm actually guessing it'll create another creature.
The white has a 1/1.
It'll create another creature.
You can get another creature?
So yeah, it has to create another creature. And
you
it
can
will
reattach
create
it
another
to-
6/6.
And you can attach it to another creature?
No. So when your colossal whatever attacks, your 6/6, it'll become a 12/12.
Yeah?
But then a trigger for the living weapon will go on the stack.
And can you
And then
attach
the
it there?
and then the living weapon trigger will resolve, creating a germ, and then moving that equipment over. So they'll have 2 6/6s.
So you are gonna get 2 6/6s.
You will get 2 6/6s, yeah.
That is amazing.
That's pretty good.
That is amazing. That's really good. I mean, obviously, then you're 4 colors, which is kind of fine in green, I think. But you also have the 1/1 flyers. You can just pump out 1/1 flyers, a good amount of them. Oh, you must attach it there.
You have to attach it. It's
There is
mandatory.
no way to stack the triggers so you don't attach it. You must attach it there.
No. It's one after another, not
Yeah.
a choice.
I mean, that's pretty good. Like, knowing color grade, but flying lifelink, and yeah, this is pretty good. And you keep doubling the counters. I'm gonna B for this one. This is a good splash.
Discard a card whenever. I'll go B+.
And the last card?
Hold on. The last card was
The one that you were reading first.
you may cast
Abstruse Appropriation.
non-land permanent. And weirdly enough, these aren't the colorless cards. This isn't the colorless color.
Yeah, it's colorless in a color that has no colorless cards.
Yeah, that's just very bizarre.
Yeah. Also, that other card is in blue that has, I think, no +1/+1 counters and no modifications.
Yeah.
Weird.
I think this is like okay. I think this is like a B-.
B-?
Or rather, I'm taking it as like a C, and then in color, I think it's like a B-.
Wait, so you're killing the best thing that I have, non-land permanent, the best non-land permanent
Yeah.
I have, and then
Yeah.
at any point of the game,
Yeah.
you can cast that best permanent that I had.
If you have the colorless mana,
What?
you need colorless blips.
And you may spend colorless mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell.
Yeah, it's hard to cast.
Oh. I mean, but you can also spend normal mana as well.
No,
Yeah.
it needs to be colorless blips, right?
You may spend colorless mana as though it were mana of any color to cast this spell. You can just cast it for its normal casting cost.
Oh, I'm stupid. I didn't finish reading
You're
the card.
not stupid.
Oh, this card's super good. Yeah, I'm stupid.
No.
You're rushing me. I blame you.
Chat, tell him. Not stupid, everybody makes mistakes. It's a new set.
No, I'm not stupid. It's your fault.
Oh,
Humph.
I don't know about that one, but okay.
Okay. No, this card's like really good. This card's like super duper good. I think this is like. I think this is a B+.
I was on a B and a B+.
Okay.
It's also super splashable. Okay, Genku, you can read the next one.
Genku. Let's see. Genku, the Future Shaper. 2 white blue. 4 mana for a 2/5 Merfolk Wizard. Whenever another non-token permanent you control leaves the battlefield, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Create a creature token with those characteristics. You can create a 2/2 white fox with vigilance, a 1/2 blue merfolk with flying, a 1/1 black rat with lifelink. Additionally, has an activated ability of 5 mana to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That's powerful. Non-token permanents leaving the battlefield. So if a creature trades off, that's one. If anything dies, we're talking fetch lands. You just create something.
Yeah, it's a fetch. It's a land.
Yeah, just lands. Gosh.
Oh, imagine this card with a 3 mana artifact that bounces your things for 0 mana.
There are boards where this is just a 2/5, I guess. You know, like if you play this on an empty board, it's just a 2/5.
Yeah.
So I think it's a B plus B plus as well.
Yeah, I'm okay with a B plus B plus. This is so good. This is so good. This is really good. And then at one point you just spend all your mana for a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Yeah, this is beautiful. Imskir Iron Eater for 6 and a black and a red. It's a 5/5 with affinity for artifacts. When it enters the battlefield, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of artifacts you control, rounded down. Half, where X is the half the number of artifacts you control, rounded down. For 3 and a red, you can sacrifice an artifact, deals damage equal to the sacrificed artifact's mana value to any target. Okay, this doesn't look good for limited. A lot to pay. For every effect, it's a lot to pay. This really feels medium for limited. I'm on a D and in color a D+. Everything feels too much to pay for this one.
Yeah, DD plus. It's pretty bad.
This is not a cheap beater. I don't think you can have that many artifacts that easily.
Invert polarity. Blue, blue, red. 3 mana total for an instant. Choose target spell, then flip a coin. If you win the flip, gain control of that spell, and you may choose new targets for it. If you lose the flip, counter that spell. No need to get distracted by the targets. You can counter a creature, and then you'll just take the creature.
Yeah.
If you gain control of a spell, it resolves on your side of the board.
Yeah.
So if you counter your opponent's 7 or 6 drop, you have a 50% chance to steal it.
Yep.
Annoying that you don't know the result of this, but it's a really good cancel. It was a really good cancel. I think that this is like... I'm probably taking this at like a C, and in color, I think this is a B-.
Yeah, I'm on a C plus B-. So yeah, either counter anything, 50% chance to get it. Like for 3 mana, that's a good rate. Very hard to cast, but this is worth it. This is worth it. Never feels bad, really. But even if you counter a 2-drop, not great, but if you get it, it's great. If you get it, so yeah, I like it a lot. Kudo! King among bears. For a green and a white, it's a 2/2. Other creatures you control... Other creatures have base power and toughness 2/2 and are bears in addition to their other types. Yeah... I mean, okay... It's gonna make a 5/5 out of your 3/3, right? Your 3/3 is now gonna be a 5/5. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully the opponent doesn't have more spawns than you. All spawns are 2/2s, but I think I don't like this. I think it's just a D-, D-. It's not unplayable, but maybe you have a lot of those 3/3s and now this is making them +2/+2, but that's still kind of weird. Germs are 2/2s, yeah. I mean, I guess D-...
For as much as you can build around this, your opponent can just incidentally benefit off of it too.
Yeah, they can benefit more than you. But, I mean, it's really good if... Like, your 1-drop is now a 3/3 flyer, right? Your 1-mana germ is now a 3/3 flyer.
Yeah, it's symmetrical.
It is symmetrical.
You can't... Your opponent's spawns are 2/2s now too.
Yeah, you're really hoping that...
It's whack.
No. You're really hoping that you're doing more of this. I guess white and... green are the best colors for it because of the germ 1-drop, because green has a really good Eldrazi making machines, Eldrazi spawn making cards, because green also has what's the name, I mean there's that 3/3 common that's actually 0/0, so it becomes a 5/5. No, that's a common card. That's not uncommon. There is 10 common dual cards, whatever. And white has the best white common is the one that supports for 2, so it adds +1/+1 counters. You have a really good green creature 3-drop that is a 2/1, but everything is a 2/2 now, so it's bigger and everything else is on its size. Green has really good adept. So it's kind of the best in these colors. So I'm actually like on a D, but the ceiling, I think it's like a C+ on average.
C+ on average?
Yeah, sometimes it's like a
those
D.
Are common cards?
Sometimes it's an F, sometimes it's a B+. Like sometimes your whole deck works with this super well. I mean, C, maybe C. C as a ceiling on average, I guess.
Nadu, Winged Wisdom.
Wait,
One
what do you give
green,
this?
Blue, 3 mana. Huh?
What do you give it?
I give it a D minus.
A D minus?
Yeah.
Yeah, not very good, but I think it works in some decks actually.
Nadu, Winged Wisdom, 1 green, blue for 3 mana for a bird wizard that's a 3/4. Has flying. Creatures you control have whenever this creature becomes the target of spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it into the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. This trigger ability only triggers twice each turn.
Twice each turn.
Twice means that if your opponent points a removal spell on Nadu and then you use the hybrid Golgari card to protect it, you will draw 2 cards. Which is nice.
Oh, it's...
That's a very nice magic card.
Oh, wait. Whenever this creature becomes target of a spell or ability of... Oh, you can also target it with abilities as well? What are the abilities to target things with?
I mean, like, you can play something that adds a +1/+1 counter on this.
Yeah, it's like support or...
If you're splashing white, right?
You got a target.
And you can... Oh, yeah, you can move you can juggle equipment around and it triggers it.
Ha! You can move equipment.
Yeah, so for 5 mana, you can use your Colossal Dread Mask.
And draw cards.
You're not winning anyway.
Play lands.
No, this card is phenomenal. I'm gonna go B+, B+ for this one.
I'm slightly lower. I'm like it's just because like I think white blue green doesn't really have the best ways to do this, but opponent is gonna interact with your creatures, so that's nice. But it's also splashable. It's like B+ ceiling, yeah, but I think I take it as a... I mean, target creature you control deals damage equal... the bite spells, the fight spells, that works. Bestow works as well. I'm okay with a B+, B+. It's also a big flyer. Yeah, this is great. This is amazing. The Necrobloom for 1 white, black, and green. It's a 2/7. Not an elemental, it's a plant. 2/7, 4 mana. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, under your control, create a 0/1 green plant creature token. If you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token instead. Land cards in your graveyard have dredge too. Oh, dredge! We have dredge here. Dredge is you may return that card. Obviously, it's a land here. From your graveyard to your hand. And mill 2 cards instead of drawing a card, right? So it's card selection, it's not card advantage. That's dredge. One of the most broken mechanics ever, but for constructed. Because drawing a card is random, right? That's what Magic is based around. Dredge is not random, if you have enough mill. But yeah, this thing is just like, I think, 2/7 that makes 0/1s, and it's almost never anything else. Which is kind of bad, I think. I don't think you're gonna want to get lands back. The model lands aren't lands. No, the model lands are lands, yeah. If you play them as lands. Oh, you mean you cannot get them back, right? Wait. Can you get model cards back?
You can't dredge them.
Huh?
You cannot dredge them.
You cannot dredge them, right? Yeah.
You can't dredge them.
D-. D?
Why are you giving this a... Do you want a ceiling grade for this?
Oh, no, not ceiling grade, just D-.
D-, yeah.
Yeah, not a good card. Not a good card. For limited.
Flage. We're looking at Flage, the Titan of Fyrus Fury. It's 1 red, white for an Elder Giant 6/6. When Flage enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Whenever Flage enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. You can escape it for red, red, white, white, and exiling 5 other cards from your graveyard. Exiling means that you can cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. So if it's in your graveyard, you can pay 4 mana and exile 5 other cards. So you need 6 cards in your graveyard at least to bring this back into the battlefield. That's it. Comes back, does its thing again, does its lightning helix effect again, and then it can block because it's just there.
It can also attack and do it again.
And then do it again. This card is incredibly strong. This card is super duper strong. I think this is an A.
Yeah, it's like you have a Sorcerer Lightning Felix for 3 mana. Okay, that's fine. But then nothing is fighting for the escape. Nothing is fighting for the escape. Collect evidence. So no commons and uncommons are exiling cards from your graveyard or removing them. So you're not, it's really fighting with nothing. This is amazing. This is incredible. Lightning Helix and then escape, get another Lightning Helix and a 6s that's gonna do multiple Lightning Helixes. This is crazy. What do you give it?
An A. I could see an A. If you say A+, I'll go A+.
I'm okay with a B plus and an A. I'm fine with an A. Not easy to like put a lot of things in the graveyard though. Yeah. B plus A, that good?
Sure. I think it's a bomb.
Psychic Frog, it's not a Psychotog, but maybe it is a little bit. For a blue and a black, it's a 1/2 frog. Whenever Psychic Frog deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, draw a card. Discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Psychic Frog. Exile 3 cards from your graveyard. Psychic Frog gains flying until end of the turn. Okay, again, nothing is fighting for this effect. This is really good, especially in the mirror that can like draw and... all hail the Hypnotoad! And... yeah, I mean, just giving it flying, that means you're drawing extra cards. Oh, this one is actually really good. Not restrict your mana. Sometimes your opponent is gonna have... it's gonna be really bad for them to block. So you can discard cards, but yeah, this works very well. This works very well. I love this. I think I'm taking it as a C plus B minus in color. C plus out of color, B minus in color.
That seems low. Hold on.
I mean, it is a 1/2 for 2 mana.
No, it's not.
Huh?
No way. This is a 1/2 for 2 mana.
What do you mean?
At will, it can just become whatever size.
But you're discarding real cards, so... opponent keeps up 1 red mana, you're never doing it.
So, and then you attack, right?
What do you mean?
I guess if they have 1 red mana and they have a blocker.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So they block and then...
literally any blocker, right?
Okay, like, they block with a bear, right? You pitch 1 card, and then they try to bolt it, and then you pitch 2 cards. And then you're still pretty happy with that exchange. Because now you have a freaking 3/4, and they haven't no board.
Wait.
Oh, no, they do have a board. They do have a board because of damage.
So...
fine. I still think it's much better than that.
so they block with a bear, right? And then... what you said?
Yeah.
How many cards? You gotta ditch 4 cards, right? You ditch
have to
1,
ditch a lot of cards.
and then 3 more. You gotta ditch 4 cards. You just lost 4 cards, they lost 2 cards. Like, that's pretty good. For them.
Well, you keep your Psychic Rogue.
You still lost the 4 cards that you discarded.
But then if you ever connect after that, it's pretty dang good. But yeah, it's
I mean,
worse
it's
than
easy to
I
connect
thought.
after that, because you can exile cards from your
Yeah.
graveyard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. What'd you give it?
But you just... that was a 4/2 trade, right?
Yeah, that's a hard situation. That's a pretty difficult situation for your opponent to do.
Really? Have any instant
Kind
speed
of.
removal spell? No. It's not have any instant speed removal spell. Wait.
That and a blocker.
And a blocker. I mean, it's... that's not difficult.
What'd you give it?
C plus B minus. What I like most about it is some of these situations where opponent is tapped out, but also a situation where you actually have some cards in your graveyard. You exile, you draw some cards, but that's not that great. It's not busted, I think. C plus B minus. I think 1
Feels
to
pretty
3.
busted. I think it's a B minus B.
B minus B?
Actually, I think it's a B minus B plus.
Okay, we can go average out the ceiling rate to a B then.
I like.
You like. I like as well,
like,
but
you like.
I think it's the patterns that is going to play out are going to be much weaker, because it's going to be so scary to lose too much value and then opponent actually removing the creature without you ever drawing a card, and it's like, oh shit.
I'll just pitch my whole hand and then lose. It'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be fine. Roshin, Roaring Prophet, 2 red, green for 4 mana. It's a 4/4. When Roshin, Roaring Prophet enters the battlefield, mill 6 cards. You may put a card with X in its mana cost from among them into your hand, and you can tap to reveal any number of cards with X in their mana cost in your hand. Add colorless for each card revealed this way. Spend this mana only on only costs that contain X. Okay, this whole text box is like 0.15% of the card. It's a 4 mana 4/4, which is like a D. It's like a D. D minus, actually. So, in terms of X spells, we're talking about like the Hydra
It's Hydra.
and like some rares.
It's Hydra.
It's Hydra? Yeah, it's Hydra.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. What if you have 3 Hydras in your hand?
Then it's probably like a D plus.
But then you get 6 mana from this to cast a big Hydra. I mean, I think it's shit. 4 mana hard to cast, 4/4 that really does nothing else except mill you for 6. I think sometimes you're gonna care about this mill. You're gonna want things in the grave in green, so that's kind of nice. I think that's kind of nice, yeah. You get the selection for the graveyard synergies in green. I can see this being like, I mean, in color, it's a D plus in color, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
And I pick it as a D, probably. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
White of the Reliquary for a black and a green. It's a 2/2 vigilance, and it gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. You can tap it to sacrifice another creature and search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Oh, that's pretty good. 0 mana. 0 mana. Instant speed sacrifice that gets you a land. Any land? Yeah. Any land. And it has vigilance, this creature. Okay, this is pretty fucking good. Oh, this is amazing. Oh yeah. Like, if they point removal or something to something else, that's horrible for them. But you can just sacrifice Eldrazi's, right? To just keep getting lands.
Yeah, you can turn your spawns into real mana.
Yeah, I'm gonna B minus, B plus for this one. Very good 2-drop.
Okay, I'm the same way.
Huh? Same?
Same way.
Very good 2-drop. Okay, we are done with Multicolored. Next up, we have a bonus sheet. It's called New to Modern, which means some of the Legacy and Commander cards are gonna be